So, documenting the lives of the Homo communia. It was locked, so I went to Tim Horton. It's supposed to open at 9, and it's almost 9:30. First time I came here, it was fine. The owner wasn't there, but I found out there's no way to get change. You have to bring your own change. And the second time, the owner was there, and he treated me like I was a man who'd never done laundry before. And, you know, in the way that his assumption worked, that, you know, everything I said, it didn't get in his head because his assumption was reality, and somehow my words didn't fit his assumptions, so he couldn't understand. And then it takes more time for me to be gently bringing him back to the reality of him observing me, and then I explain, oh, you see what I did here? I did it this way because it's better for the machine, or it's considerate to the other people, or whatever. Yeah, you know, like he doesn't have to, as somebody that's not as good with sentience and sapience that I am, micromanage me. But he's not here right now, right? Because hey, do you need extra help here? Oh no, we're fine. Well, you might need somebody to come open when a customer wants to use it, and stop complaining about, you know, this town or the other laundromats or whatever. So, you know, like I don't know why you guys think I'm the one with mental illness, but maybe it's because I talk about the mental illnesses that affect majorities, and you're not ready to go there. That includes the Canadian Mental Health Association. I tried to approach them years ago. Nobody's ready to go there. I approach PhDs. I say, there's obviously, I mean, watch international news, reliable sources, and we haven't learned nothing. In fact, we're getting worse in our behaviors and more in denial about how they're worse. How do you explain that? It's not because of one leader, right? One leader doesn't have telepathic abilities and controls the masses. It's the masses have a variety of flaws in their thinking, and I explained it in my grand unification theory of the social sciences, which I've named HSD, and you don't want to go there. And by the way, I counseled, I told you once in other videos, I counseled a Korean in Vancouver that was visiting. She didn't have a lot of English, but I was successfully a good listener with her and brought her to a few extra stages of her progress. And 8 hours I spent with her just approaching, started a conversation in the mall. Find out she's a psychiatrist in Korea, but doesn't really work with patients as much as research. But again, if you're doing a research and you've got a supernatural, religious-based worldview, and you can't even do your own mental health work, and when you make progress with a guy for free, you give him the wrong email because you're going to a religious retreat instead, and you think that's going to solve your mental illness. You know, and it's not just there. It's like, if a lot of psychiatrists here would be forced to go be assessed by another psychiatrist, let's say in another province, where they have an identity where the only thing they lie about is their profession, there won't be a psychiatrist. Well, I tell you that there'll be a lot of issues if they're honest. They will be diagnosed with something by these other psychiatrists. It might be accurate or inaccurate, mostly inaccurate, but signs of things will show up, okay? And again, this could be explained by HSD, and also their psychological profiles as psychiatrists, which is particularly, let's say, more likely to show signs of egocentrism or even some narcissism. And I'm not even going to say full-fledged narcissism because that's pretty intense, but there's a God complex that develops in psychiatrists, especially when they never run out of clients and nobody ever forces them to be evaluated or to be recorded in what they do and impartially assessed. Like when I challenged 2 psychiatrists to a recording, they didn't want to do that. So what's the reason? Like, how insecure are they in their work? And how come I want to be recorded all the time, but not people that get paid to make choices that can have negative impacts on me? Like, does that sound like a fair society to you? And why do you still think I'm the one with mental health issues?